So I think just to give you context of today's session as well for those who have joined, we recently did an offline event. I think Shivam is also here, who was part of the event. So I think we just want understood the domain post the session कि exactly we tried to understand exactly end to end कैसे work करते होगी चीज़ें. Obviously by talking to Kavina and few other people, and then we tried to come up with a flow chart like if ब्लू कॉलर इकोसिस्टम होता होगा सो एंड टू एंड प्रोसेस कैसे वर्क होता होगा एंड व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स इन बिटवीन. So we just wanted to share our learnings with you. So maybe people who could not get access to offline event, you can get some insights here, and then maybe we can ideate a bit on few things discussed in the offline event, presentations of offline event, and what we feel about the solutions. So mostly a walkthrough of the insights which we got from the event. So that is the high level agenda. It's just the understanding of domain that we want to first showcase. But as I said कि अगर कुछ भी किसी को भी at any point of time questions होगा, I would love to know your opinions as well कि मतलब there could be two things. एक तो you might not have complete context of the things कि exactly क्या होता है, so feel free to pause at that point कि why this is happening or why particular thing is happening. Or second thing could be कि okay, I'm saying something. So I think before I start with blue collar ecosystem, I just want everyone to be on same page before we start with the blue collar ecosystem ka thing. So total job market currently is divided into three parts. First is white collar jobs, second is blue collar, and third is gray collar. When I say white collar, इसमें all the highly skilled jobs आते हैं जहाँ पे you need some sort of expertise. It could be IT jobs, it could be lawyers, doctors, etc. जहाँ पे skill is required. Blue collar job, when I say specifically blue collar jobs, anything which is completely physical, I would say. जहाँ पे physical labor ज़्यादा लगता है, all those things come under blue collar. So if I want to just give example of blue collar jobs, those could be plumbers, और फैक्ट्री में जो वर्कर्स काम करते हैं वो हो सकता है, और शॉपकीपर्स के अंडर कुछ लोग काम करते होंगे इन अ शॉप. सो दोज कुड बी अ ब्लू कॉलर जॉब्स. एंड थर्ड इज ग्रे कॉलर जॉब्स विच इज़ इन बिटवीन ब्लू कॉलर एंड वाइट कॉलर, जहाँ पे थोड़ा ट्रेनिंग लगता है बट कंप्लीट स्किल्स नहीं लगते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कुक कुड बी ग्रे कॉलर जॉब, और मे बी नर्स कुड बी ग्रे कॉलर जहाँ पे थोड़ा सा लगेगा हमें ट्रेनिंग बट पूरा ट्रेनिंग नहीं लगेगा. सो इन टुडे स्कोप वी वुड बी डिस्कसिंग अबाउट ब्लू कॉलर एंड ग्रे कॉलर इकोसिस्टम इन जनरल. सो जस्ट वांटेड टू क्लैरिफाई दिस. इट माइट नॉट बी ओनली ब्लू कॉलर क्योंकि ये दोनों का प्रोसेस टू सम एक्सटेंट इज सिमिलर. So in this complete discussion, we would be focusing on how complete hiring ecosystem works for blue and gray color jobs. I would start with कि मतलब obviously when it comes to blue and gray color job, we cannot focus on all the things. So in this session, I want to cover only those things जहाँ पे majority of job openings आती है. At least from the perspective of अपना और वर्क इंडिया और एनी ऑफ द प्लेटफॉर्म्स आउट देयर, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ ओपनिंग जहाँ पे आती है, आई विल जस्ट फोकस ऑन दोज जॉब्स फॉर द स्कोप ऑफ दिस प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट. तो द जॉब्स विच आई वुड बी फोकसिंग ऑन वुड बी मोस्टली कुक्स, शॉपकीपर्स में जो लोग काम करते हैं वो, फॉर बेटर ईजी एनालॉजी आई वुड से वर्कर्स फॉर देम. कुक्स हो गए, वर्कर्स हो गए, एंड वॉचमैन. सो दिस आर द मोस्ट कॉमन जॉब्स. एंड थर्ड लास्ट वन इज डिलीवरी वर्कर्स. जो भी जेप्टो के डिलीवरी ड्राइवर्स होते हैं वो सब लोग आ जाते हैं. सो वी वुड बी फोकसिंग ओनली ऑन दिस थिंग्स because this accounts for 60 to 70% of jobs: cooks, workers, watchmen, to some extent plumbers, and delivery persons. So clear on the job perspective, right? So these are the core jobs which we would be focusing on. And then even if you go one step back कि ये jobs देता कौन है, we need to understand who guys are hiring for these things. So when you look at cooks, so cooks को hire Abhishek. Okay, so Abhishek, just to give you high level context, the complete agenda of this session is to just give you a high level context on how complete ecosystem works of blue collar workers. So when I say blue and gray, those are mostly the people who do not have skills or jobs which do not require highly skilled people. They could be plumbers, workers, shopkeepers, cooks, nurses, etc. And for scope of this problem statement, we would be focusing only on jobs, uh, total jobs which account for 60% or majority of market. So we would be focusing on cooks, workers, watchmen, and delivery persons. So we were just trying to understand who all are the people who gives these jobs. So when I say cooks, mostly people who run small restaurants, they require cooks. So they could be restaurant owners maybe, and mostly small people, मतलब जिनका 5 या 6 लोगों का capacity है, those could be the persons who give jobs to them. When it comes to workers, obviously multiple जगह पे workers का requirement होता है, factories, shopkeepers and everything. For now, let's keep our focus to shops. कि किराना वाला शॉप है तो किराना शॉप में they would require 1-2 person to work with them. So that could be the shopkeepers. Watchmen, obviously, society are the persons who would require all these people. Delivery persons के लिए obviously the end stakeholders could be Zepto or maybe Swiggy or any of the quick com players who are requiring delivery workers. So they would require delivery workers. So they are the persons जो job उनको चाहिए होगा, मतलब they want to hire people. But when it comes to Swiggy and Zepto, the main thing is they do not want to focus their energies on hiring delivery persons. So what they do is they tie up with third party agencies, and this third party agencies hire on these platforms. So these are the two basic kinds of models when it comes to blue and gray collar hiring jobs. First is कि people who have the requirement, they directly basically give jobs on the portal. And second is people जिनको bulk में requirement है. For example, Swiggy, Zepto and all those people could have bulk requirement कि 500 delivery persons hire करने हैं. So obviously they don't want to focus entire time hiring these delivery persons because they have other things to take care of. So they hire an agency, and agency hires or post a job on these platforms to hire people for all these people. So these are two basic kinds of model. So when someone hires directly from the platform, I will call it as a B2C for now. So all this thing comes under B2C scope. And when people are hiring indirectly by getting in touch with agency, I will call this model as a B2B, where agency is hiring for someone else. So these are the two basic kinds of model when it comes to blue or gray collar jobs. So before I move forward into exactly कैसे होता है, I think you guys must have idea now, right? कि how exactly everything works. अगर कुछ भी डाउट नहीं है तो just give a thumbs up so I know कि everything is clear. And कुछ डाउट है तो chat में बता देना. Works. So I think no one has any doubts, right? Okay, so if I just want to summarize everything what I covered as of now, when you take any ecosystem of blue collar jobs, there is always demand and supply side. So when I say demand, मतलब jobs कहाँ से आते हैं and who are applying for jobs. So whenever there is a demand comes majorly from two places. It can be B2C or B2B. When I say B2C, तो जिसको हायर करना है डायरेक्टली साइन अप टू द प्लेटफॉर्म एंड दे से कि मुझे जॉब के लिए पीपल चाहिए. When I say B2B में प्लेयर्स लाइक स्विगी, जेप्टो एंड ऑल दोस पीपल आर देयर. दे से कि मुझे 500 लोग हायर करने हैं बट आई डोंट वांट टू वेस्ट माई टाइम, सो दे हायर एन एजेंसी एंड एजेंसी हायर्स ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ दोज पीपल. सो जॉब्स का डिमांड इज जनरेटेड बाय टू प्लेयर्स. करंट स्प्लिट as per Work India is 60-40. 60% of demand comes from B2C and 40% comes from B2B. And B2C में भी multiple categories है. I won't go in detail exactly B2C कैसे split है, but this is high level demand. And then who are applying for jobs? Obviously these are the people जिनको वो specific job चाहिए. For example, we discussed कि cooks है, workers है, watchmen है. So all these people will be onboarded on the platform कि people who are looking for cooks का job और वर्कर्स का जॉब, वॉचमैन का जॉब, डिलीवरी पर्सन का जॉब, they would be onboarded who are applying for jobs. So for easy sake of things, I would say these are applicants. So these people apply for jobs. So this is a high level summary on how complete blue or gray collar market is there. Before I deep dive into how exactly everything works, I just want to give you high level perspective on what is the mindset of these people. So let's come at B2C people. So B2C people का mindset कैसे होता है? They are like one person company in most of the time. So वो delegation का mindset नहीं होता है, धंधा करने वाले लोग होते हैं. So obviously they are the persons who are doing finance, accounting, sourcing, everything. So उनका mindset होता है कि मुझे सब करना है. So it is not like a corporate mindset कि they have different vertical कि HR होगा जो hire करेगा. There is one person doing all the things. So hiring is just one of the many things which they are doing. So B2C में one person mindset है. In most of the cases tier 2 3 से demand आता है. So obviously when I say digital literacy is less for these people. So they don't know how to use platforms and everything, and they are not well versed with using CRM as well. So most of the communication which this B2C people do are majorly on, I would say, WhatsApp or normal calls. This is what they prefer because they might not be acquainted with high-end systems. Same goes with applicants. If you look at applicants का mindset, again digital literacy कम होगा. And I would say कि another thing in general of the complete ecosystem is if you look at the white collar ka job market, we have multiple rounds of interviews before we, I would say, shortlist a candidate and select them. यहाँ पे द रिक्वायरमेंट इज मिनिमल कि फॉर एग्जांपल अगर कोई बंदा शॉपकीपर में काम करना चाहता है, बस वी शुड हैव ट्रस्ट कि ये बंदा मेरा काम चोरी नहीं करेगा, मेरा कुछ चोरी नहीं करेगा. और इफ इट इज़ अ कुक देन थोड़ा बेसिक खाना बना दे, इट इज़ फाइन. सो द वे द हायरिंग is there in blue and gray collar job is very different. So I would say कि here time to hire is mostly less और number of hiring rounds are less. मे बी डायरेक्ट टेलीफोनिक राउंड्स हो सकते हैं, डिटेल में हम देखेंगे, बट माइंडसेट इसकी वेरी लेस नंबर ऑफ राउंड्स, डायरेक्टली अप्रोचेबल कैंडिडेट्स एंड डायरेक्टली कॉल कर सकते हैं. सो टाइम टू हायर इज लेस एंड प्रोफेशनलिज्म थोड़ा कम है एज कम्पेयर टू वाइट कॉलर जॉब्स बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली डायरेक्ट कॉलिंग पे ही सब चलता है. So this would give you high level perspective of what is the mindset of people before we dive into the complete end-to-end process. And when it comes to B2B, obviously these are the sophisticated agencies जिनका काम ही है कि source right candidate for the people. But obviously they cannot work on digitally tech savvy systems because जो end users है they are not tech savvy. Like when I say end users, जो job को apply करने वाले हैं, they might not be using it. So that is why B2B companies also rely mostly on operational things. Like when I say operational, sheets से काम होता है और calling से काम होता है instead of CRMs. So this is the general mindset of B2C में जिनको hire करना है, B2B companies and applicants. If anyone has any doubts, then just let me know. I will pause here. And अगर कुछ doubt नहीं है, just give me thumbs up so I know कि everything is clear so we can go into process कि how everything works. Cool. I think no questions as of now. But I think अगर कुछ I would say कि इसमें भी if you want to go deep into certain topics, let me know that as well. If I am having knowledge of that, then maybe I can help you explain in better way कि इसके अंदर भी if anyone wants to go deep. And if I don't know, then I will talk with maybe Kavina or someone else and I will let you know the answers for that. But end goal is कि जितना ज़्यादा information if you can grasp, that would be better because that would give you complete high level understanding of the domain. So I would highly recommend ask more questions because ये तो मैं summary बता रहा हूँ which could be 10% of what we discussed in the offline session. Or maybe offline session के बाद we talked with few other people, we got to know few things, so we added this. So if you think कुछ और भी चाहिए तो let us know. So I will start with the complete. Yeah, Shivam.
Other one thing I feel may or may not be relevant to the discussion, but another aspect of the whole market is that apart from Work India, also you have a lot of other agencies
Yeah.
which work primarily informally. Like
Yeah.
if I have to take the example in my office, you have a lot of workers, right? Or a lot of blue collar workers. वो लोग कहाँ से आते हैं? So I'm assuming कि there are separate agencies who provide, workforce on demand.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think very good point. This point कि मतलब I think I forgot this thing to mention in this summary. So when I look at the mindset of people कि how people are finding applicants, obviously job platform तो बनाया है. If anyone has not known what exactly Apna or Work India is, इट इज़ सिमिलर टू लिंक्डइन बट फॉर द पीपल जिनको वो जॉब चाहिए, तो उनमें वो पोस्ट एंड वो सब चीज़ें नहीं होती, डायरेक्टली पीपल कैन कॉल. बट अगर किसी को हायर करना है, फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस इज ऑलवेज रेफरल्स. When I say referrals, offline referrals. If I am a watchman, for example, and I want a job, so my mindset is कि मैं अपने दोस्तों को पूछूंगा कि कोई सोसाइटी में जॉब है तो बता दो, एंड अगर सोसाइटी में कुछ जॉब मिला तो वो मुझे मिल जाएगा. एंड सेम थिंग गोज ऑन अपोजिट साइड. अगर कोई सोसाइटी को वॉचमैन चाहिए, तो मैं अपने सोसाइटी में किसी और को पूछूंगा कि यार किसी और को पता है तो मेरे यहाँ पे बोल दे. सो ऑलवेज फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस फॉर हायरिंग इज रेफरल्स और ऑफलाइन. सो पीपल वुड प्रेफर कि पहले बाहर से मिल गया तो बेटर है, क्योंकि बाहर ट्रस्ट वहाँ पे ज़्यादा होगा, बिकॉज इट इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू हैव ट्रस्ट ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म्स. So when it comes to hiring mindset as well, first preference is always referrals. Second is referrals could come from multiple places. Either known people से आ सकता है referral, और online reviews से आ सकता है, and then they get directly in contact with them. और मे बी थर्ड थिंग ऑफलाइन में भी मल्टीपल वेज हो सकते हैं जहाँ से रेफरेंस मिलता है, बट फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस इज ऑलवेज कि ऑफलाइन से मिला तो बेटर है. देन सेकेंड थिंग विच दे सर्च फॉर, आई विल कम टू दैट क्वेश्चन लेटर अभिषेक. सो फर्स्ट थिंग इज रेफरल्स का, एंड सेकेंड अगर रेफरल से कुछ काम नहीं हो रहा है देन दे लुक फॉर ऑप्शंस ऑनलाइन. सो ऑप्शंस में कुछ भी चीज़ हो सकती है. व्हेन आई से ऑप्शंस, देयर कुड बी मल्टीपल एजेंसीज वर्किंग एज शिवम मेंशन्ड, कि उनका काम ही है कि एक स्पेसिफिक जन को डेडिकेट करना है. या देन देयर कुड बी एप्स एज वेल. एप्स, व्हेन आई से एप्स, दोज कुड बी अपना, वर्क इंडिया, और ऑल दोज थिंग्स. Then how people discover this is when they search on the internet, then ads चलते हैं इनके. तो जो ad पहले दिखता है, this people go there and they search there. So here the main thing is कि awareness कैसे हो जाए apps का. तो that is why most of the apps would heavily spend on marketing things as well. कि मेरा ऐप टॉप में रैंक होना चाहिए, बिकॉज व्हेन समवन सर्चेस, राइट एड राइट टाइम पे दिखना चाहिए. देयर कुड बी मल्टीपल एड्स. फ्रॉम व्हाट आई नो, मेटा एड्स सबसे ज़्यादा चलता है. So these are the options, yeah, mindset of the people who are looking for jobs or who are looking for people to hire. First is offline referral से मिला तो ठीक है, नहीं तो ऑनलाइन में मैं सर्च करूँगा. जो भी फर्स्ट टू रिजल्ट्स है वो वहाँ पे चले जाएंगे, एंड देन वहाँ पे वो एक्सप्लोर करना चालू करेंगे. सो दिस इज अ हाई लेवल माइंडसेट. या अभी
तो भैया लाइक वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स फादर हैज एजेंसी ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज. तो वो लोग क्या करते हैं, लाइक ऑल द एमएनसीज लाइक जेपीएमसी, लाइक टॉप ये कंपनीज को ही सप्लाई सिक्योरिटीज.
या
बट देयर आर सम सिचुएशंस वेयर दे आर नॉट एबल टू फाइंड पीपल फॉर दिस जॉब. सो इसको कैसे टैकल कर सकते हैं वो लोग?
सो आई थिंक आई विल जस्ट
one
reiterate your
one more
question.
thing for the context, like as you said, like most of the people they do hire is like through referrals, word of mouth से ही हो जाता है. मगर एक एक बार ऐसा होता है कि like they lack people.
Got it.
Yes.
So I think इसमें that is why the B2B angle comes in. So when I say B2B, as you mentioned, आपका जो एजेंसी है वो एजेंसी को डेटा चाहिए होगा, कि मतलब when I say data, basically you would require people who will hire, right? मतलब जिनको आप दे सकते हो जेपीएमसी को, right? बट उनको लोग नहीं मिलते, right? This is what you are trying to say ना अभी. Okay. So that is where the B2B angle comes into the play. When I say B2B, मैंने कहीं पे लिखा था ना, this agencies. तो मे बी योर एजेंसी इज देयर. उनका मेन प्रॉब्लम ऑफ दिस एजेंसी, फ्रॉम वॉट आई अंडरस्टूड फ्रॉम द ऑफलाइन सेशन, इज हाउ टू गेट द राइट पूल ऑफ डेटा, एंड वो डेटा को यूटिलाइज करके हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई राइट पीपल एंड गिव इट टू देयर क्लाइंट्स. इन योर केस क्लाइंट्स कुड बी जेपीएमसी. सो इसमें आई विल ऐड वन मोर पर्सन इन द एजेंसी वाला पॉइंट यहाँ पे. इसकी स्विगी जेप्टो वाला एक हो गया. मे बी देयर कुड बी वन एजेंसी जिनका काम होगा कि दे प्रोवाइड वॉचमैन फॉर जेपीएमसी एंड ऑल दिस बिग कंपनीज. सो दिस इज द एजेंसी. सो फॉर देम द मेन प्रॉब्लम इज कैसे वो आउटसोर्स करे राइट नंबर ऑफ कैंडिडेट्स. सो वन ऑप्शन इज कि ऑब्वियसली आपके जान पहचान का जो भी होगा, दे विल गेट इन टच विद देम एंड उनका एक डेटा का पूल बनाएंगे, एंड दे विल आइडेंटिफाई विच द राइट फिट फॉर देम. सेकेंड वे हो सकता है कि दे ऑनबोर्ड ऑन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म्स. इट कुड बी अपना, इट कुड बी वर्क इंडिया. तो उनके लिए भी एक अलग अलग प्लान्स होते हैं. दे ऑनबोर्ड एज एन एजेंसी, एंड देन द एजेंसी में वो देन जाके ऐप में देखेंगे, एंड दे विल हायर राइट पीपल, बिकॉज उनको डेटा मिलेगा कि किनको हायर करना है. सो दिस कुड बी अनदर वे जहाँ से उनको पूल ऑफ कैंडिडेट्स मिले. सो दिस आर द टू वेज आई एम अवेयर ऑफ. इससे ज़्यादा कुछ होगा, आई विल वन स्टॉक विद कविन एंड अदर पीपल एंड आई विल लेट यू नो. बट दैट कुड बी अनदर ऑप्शन, बिकॉज जो आपने बताया, मेन प्रॉब्लम कुड बी कि हाउ टू फाइंड राइट पूल ऑफ कैंडिडेट्स. तो उसके लिए आपको जितना ज़्यादा डेटा मिलेगा उतना ज़्यादा आप अच्छे से सोर्स कर पाओगे कैंडिडेट्स. तो एक तो आपको नोन से डेटा मिला, एंड सेकंड कुड बी थ्रू दिस प्लेटफॉर्म्स जो डेटा देने को तैयार है, इफ यू पे अ सब्सक्रिप्शन फीस फॉर them. I hope that answers your question, right, Abhi? Cool. So this is a high level overview of complete ecosystem. कौन से players होते हैं. For example, B2C is one player who want to hire, B2B is another player who want to hire. B2 B2C is direct end users जिनको hire करना है. B2B in most cases would be agencies जिनको particular kind of people hire करके बड़ी companies को देना है. एंड सेकेंड साइड पे होता है, सप्लाई साइड पे, एप्लीकेंट्स हु आर अप्लाइंग फॉर जॉब्स. एंड उनका माइंडसेट भी डिस्कस्ड कि फर्स्ट डे रिलाई ऑन द रेफरल्स, रेफरल्स से नहीं मिला देन दे गो टू एजेंसीज एंड एप्स. कूल. एनी क्वेश्चंस? कुछ क्वेश्चंस है तो वी कैन गो इन डिटेल ऑन दिस, अदरवाइज वी कैन गो टू द वर्क फ्लो. जस्ट थम्स अप दे देना सो आई नो कि एवरीवन इज ऑन द सेम पेज, कि एवरीवन हैज अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ ऑल दिस थिंग्स. Cool. I think then we can move to the next part, that is complete end-to-end process, how everything works. तो आई विल स्टार्ट विद B2C हायरिंग फर्स्ट, कि मतलब अगर कोई B2C कंपनी को हायर करना है, देन व्हाट इज़ द कंप्लीट प्रोसीजर फॉर देम. वी विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम देम कि हाउ दे पोस्ट अ जॉब, देन एक बार उन्होंने पोस्ट किया जॉब, देन हाउ पीपल अप्लाई फॉर जॉब्स. दैट आई विल कवर इन सेकेंड पार्ट. देन आई विल कम टू B2B पार्ट. कूल. So I will start with B2C. So let's assume that use this only. A workflow for B2C. Let's take example so that it is more relatable. कि मैं एक शॉपकीपर हूँ एंड आई वॉन्ट टू हायर 2 people फॉर माई किराना स्टोर. सो आई एम अ B2C पर्सन एंड मुझे 2 लोग मिल नहीं रहे, या मुझे हायर करना है, तो मेरा प्रोसेस क्या होगा. सो ऑब्वियसली इफ आई एम अ B2C ओनर कमिंग विद अ माइंडसेट कि मुझे 2 लोग हायर करने फॉर माई किराना स्टोर, इन मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस B2C में रिक्वायरमेंट वुड बी लाइक कि 5 या 6 मैक्सिमम मुझे रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्लोज करनी है. ऑन एन एवरेज 2 to 3 रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती है. सो मुझे आई एम कमिंग विद दैट माइंडसेट. सो माय फर्स्ट थिंग इज, एज आई मेंशन, कि रेफरल्स देखता हूँ मैं, कि मैं अपने नोन वाले बंदों को पूछूंगा कि यार मुझे मेरे इस शॉप में 2 लोग चाहिए, कैन यू रेफर मी समवन बिकॉज आई ट्रस्ट यू. सो फर्स्ट कैसे रेफरल्स से जॉब क्लोज हुआ तो इट इज़ बेस्ट. अगर नहीं हुआ देन दे सर्च ऑन इंटरनेट की व्हाट इज़ द नेक्स्ट बेस्ट ऑप्शन फॉर मी. सो हियर वी विल अज्यूम कि रेफरल्स से क्लोज नहीं हुआ ओपनिंग. देन वी गो टू द नेक्स्ट स्टेज विच इज़ अवेयरनेस स्टेज और सर्चिंग स्टेज. सर्चिंग की कहाँ से जॉब्स मिल सकते हैं. सो इन दिस सर्चिंग केस 2 थिंग्स दे सर्च मेजरली. फर्स्ट इज़ कि अगर कोई कम्युनिटीज़ से मिला या एड्स से मिला, वो नेट पे सर्च करेंगे, नेट्स पे ऐड चलाता है, एंड अगर एड से कोई मिल गया मुझे, देन आई विल एक्सप्लोर दैट प्लेटफॉर्म फर्स्ट. सो एड्स आई विल एक्सप्लोर, और कम्युनिटीज़ में मोस्टली टेलीग्राम चैनल्स हो गए या फेसबुक ग्रुप्स हो गए. वहाँ पे जाके दे विल सर्च फॉर द राइट पीपल कि आई एम लुकिंग फॉर दिस पर्सन, इफ एनीवन हैज़ अ कॉन्टैक्ट लेट मी नो. एंड एट द सेम टाइम वो एड्स पे भी सर्च करेंगे तो एड्स पे दिखता है. सो जैसे वो सर्च करता है, देन देर इज़ अ चांस कि दे कम अप विथ platform that, like there is some platform called as Apna, or there is platform like Work India, or any other platform, or there is a agency, there could be anything possible. So that is how they land to the platform कि रेफरल से नहीं मिला, it's fine, टेलीग्राम फेसबुक ग्रुप में भी डाल दिया, नेट पे भी सर्च कर रहा हूँ, एंड अगर सर्च रिजल्ट पे इफ़ आई शो अप कि अपना एंड वर्क इंडिया है, then they reach to this platform, and that is how they discover the platform in first place कि okay there is something called as Apna. ऑब्वियसली दिस इज अज्यूमिंग कि दिस पर्सन इज़ अ न्यू यूज़र, उसने कभी अपना एंड वर्क इंडिया यूज़ नहीं किया है. इफ दे हैव यूज दिस प्लेटफॉर्म बिफोर एंड दे हैड अ गुड एक्सपीरियंस, देयर कुड बी अ पॉसिबिलिटी कि दे डायरेक्टली कम टू अपना एंड वर्क इंडिया, बट इट इज़ अ न्यू यूज़र जर्नी विच आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. सो दिस इज हाउ दे डिस्कवर. सो अगर इसको आपको थोड़ा सिंपल सिंपल तो नहीं, वन इंपॉर्टेंट इंसाइट आई नीड टू गिव इज की एड्स इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट हियर, बिकॉज डिस्कवरी से ही मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स लोगों को प्लेटफॉर्म के बारे में पता चलता है. देन जैसे ही वो अपना में उनके बेनिफिट्स पता चलता है, देन दे साइन अप. साइन अप यूजुअली हैपन्स ओनली बाय अ मोबाइल नंबर. देन जैसे ही वो साइन अप करते हैं, देन दे सी अ आई वुड से लिस्टिंग का पेज, जहाँ पे दे कैन सी कि देर इज़ अबंडेंस, कि मतलब मल्टीपल लोग अप्लाई करने को तैयार है, वो उनको फील देता है कि मतलब वी हैव मल्टीपल पीपल फॉर द जॉब रिक्वायरमेंट्स विच यू आर सर्चिंग फॉर, बट उनको कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर नहीं मिलता एंड दे कैन नॉट इवन पोस्ट अ जॉब ओपनिंग. अगर मुझे कोई भी ओपनिंग पोस्ट करनी है या मुझे किसी का भी कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर चाहिए, आई नीड टू पे फॉर दैट सर्विस. बट यहाँ पे दे गिव अ परसेप्शन दैट फॉर द जॉब ओपनिंग विच यू आर लुकिंग फॉर वी हैव इनफ कैंडिडेट्स कि मैं आपका रिक्वायरमेंट विद इन 7 to 10 days क्लोज कर सकता हूँ. सो इफ़ यू लुक एट एनी ऑफ द वेबसाइट ऑफ वर्क इंडिया और अपना, उनका वेबसाइट का डीएम पेज देखना, डिजिटल मार्केटिंग पेज, दैट वुड बी ऑप्टिमाइज फॉर देयर पेन पॉइंट्स. कि इफ़ यू आर लुकिंग फॉर दिस थिंग, फॉर एग्जांपल वॉचमैन के ऊपर हाइपर पर्सनलाइज पेज होगा कि लुकिंग फॉर अ वॉचमैन, हम लोग आपको सेफ रिलायबल वॉचमैन विद इन 10 days देंगे, उसके अराउंड पोजिशनिंग होगा. सो दे हैव अ हाइपर पर्सनलाइज पेज ऑन द लिस्टिंग पेज, ताकि पीपल साइन अप करके ये सब देख सके. एंड देन जैसे ये लिस्टिंग कर दिया किसी ने, मतलब वंस दे आर सेटिस्फाइड कि दिस इज अ प्लेस वेयर आई कैन गेट माई हायर्स क्विकली, देन दे लुक फॉर पेमेंट्स प्लान. सो आई वुड से इंक्वायरी फेज एक होता है पहले, कि दे गेट इन टच विद समवन, बिकॉज आई थिंक इफ यू नो अबाउट द personas are kind of a hesitant, less trust and everything. So obviously inquiry is the first step, ki let me inquire about what all plans are there for me, and based on the plans then they fill the form. Once they are confident ki I want to take this, then they fill a payments, or I would say job post form. Technically for them it is a job post form only, I think. यहाँ पे लिख दो. So once they are confident कि okay, this is a place where I can get good amount of leads for me and I can convert my position in 7 to 10 days, then I will tell them कि मुझे job posting करना है. तो there is some job posting form. So उसमें हम लोग उनका पूरा डिटेल्स लेते हैं. When I say details, इसमें हम लोग कंपनी नेम, official documents of the company, if it is a society then some official documents and all the mandatory things लेते हैं. And then obviously few of the companies might be very small, कि किराना शॉप वाले का ऑफिशियल कंपनी भी नहीं होगा. सो इन दैट केसेस वेरिफिकेशन का नीड होगा. इन कुछ केसेस डायरेक्ट वेरिफिकेशन हो जाएगा क्योंकि एवरीथिंग इज रजिस्टर्ड एंड ऑनलाइन है. सो यहाँ पे देयर इज एन if else statement kind of a thing, if these are the 3 or 4 things which are there, then it is auto verified. If these 3 or 4 things are not there, which would be the cases in most of the kirana stores, then there is a verification in place. So there is kind of मैं डिसीजन लूप डाल सकता हूँ कि ऑटो वेरीफाई हुआ या नहीं हुआ. इफ ऑटो वेरीफाई नहीं हुआ, इफ आई से इफ ऑटो वेरिफिकेशन इज नॉट देयर, देन सम पर्सन मैन्युअली गेट्स इन टच विद देम. आई वुड से मैनुअल कॉलिंग होता है टू अंडरस्टैंड देयर रिक्वायरमेंट्स एंड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट बिजनेस इज लेजिटिमेट. एंड वंस दे वेरीफाई दैट अगर बिजनेस लेजिटिमेट है, देन उनको पेमेंट पे रिडायरेक्ट करते हैं लोग. एंड अगर इफ एल्स से वेरीफाई हो गया कि ओके द बिजनेस इज वेरीफाइड, ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंट्स विच आई हैव रिक्वायर्ड इन प्लेस है, देन डायरेक्टली विदाउट मैनुअल इंटरवेंशन दे गो टू द पेमेंट्स पेज एंड दे डू द पेमेंट. So this is how they completely first get aware of the system कि there is something called as Apna or Work India. Then based on that, once they land on the page, they get conviction that okay, trust आ रहा है मुझे कि this person can help me close the opening in 7 to 10 days. अगर मैंने 2-3 हज़ार दिया तो then वो अप्लाई करते हैं कि मुझे जॉब एप्लीकेशन जॉब पोस्ट करना है. एंड मैनुअल वेरिफिकेशन होता है इफ दे डू नॉट हैव ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंट्स, एंड देन दे फाइनली डू द पेमेंट. एंड जैसे ही वो पेमेंट करते हैं, दे गेट एक्सेस टू 3 थिंग्स. फर्स्ट इज ऑब्वियसली दे गेट एक्सेस टू जॉब बोर्ड्स. फर्स्ट इज दे गेट एक्सेस टू job boards. When I say job boards, where they can post a job and they can see who all have applied. Then second thing which they get access to is database of people whom they are looking for, so a personalized database for their requirement. And third thing which they get access to is support. When I say support, as you know the segment of these users, they are not literal tech savvy. सो देयर इज़ वन सपोर्ट पर्सन, 1:30 का रेशो होता है कि वन सपोर्ट पर्सन इज असाइंड टू 30 और 35, आई वुड से दिस पीपल हु वांट टू हायर. सो कुछ भी उनको डिफिकल्टी होता है कि मुझे जॉब पोस्ट करने में परेशानी हो रही है, और आई नीड सम सपोर्ट इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग एनी क्लैरिफाइंग क्वेश्चंस है, सो देर इज वन सपोर्ट अवेलेबल फॉर देम. So as soon as they do the payment, they get access to all the three things: database, job boards, and support. Then in this job boards, two things are there. Once they post a job, technically वो post करते हैं job. Instead of people applying for job, they don't apply यहाँ पे, like उनका resume and वो सब कंपनीज बनाती है, बट उनके लिए कंपलसरी नहीं होता है कि मुझे रेज्यूमे अपलोड करना है. वॉट दिस पीपल कैन डू इज दे गिव डायरेक्ट कॉलिंग ऑप्शन कि यार मतलब मुझे डायरेक्ट कॉल्स आने चाहिए. सो इन द जॉब पोस्टिंग देयर इज अ डायरेक्ट ऑप्शन टू कॉल मी और व्हाट्सएप मी. सो एक्सपेक्टेशन इसकी अगर मैंने जॉब डाला, मुझे विद इन नेक्स्ट 3 to 4 days 5 या 10 कॉल्स आ जाए, एंड वो 10 कॉल में से मैं किसी एक को हायर करके मेरा रिक्वायरमेंट क्लोज करूँ. सो इट इज़ नॉट लाइक कि रेज्यूमे होगा देन 1 राउंड ऑफ इंटरव्यू, 2 राउंड ऑफ इंटरव्यू जो ब्लू कलर का होता है वैसे, वाइट कलर में होता है वैसे नहीं होता. यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली जैसे ही जॉब पोस्ट करता है, जब भी कोई जॉब देखेगा दे कैन डायरेक्टली कॉल देम और व्हाट्सएप देम एंड डायरेक्टली क्लोज द पोजीशन ऑफलाइन. एंड सेकेंड थिंग इसके अगर उनको लग रहा है कि ओके जॉब पोस्ट करके मुझे खुद कॉल्स आ ही नहीं रहे हैं, देन दे लुक एट द डेटाबेस एंड दे स्टार्ट मैन्युअली कॉलिंग पीपल बेस्ड ऑन फिल्टर्स का ऑप्शन होता है. दे कैन मैन्युअली कॉल और व्हाट्सएप. But first preference for anyone who is posting a job is कि I should get calls by myself rather than someone I calling. So that is the expectations from this people who are hiring. So this is a complete hiring का funnel जो हमने समझा है. So if anyone has any questions at this point, would love to know your views as well. कि yeah, Shashank.
Hey, hi. I was curious to know, like, fine, the person who is trying to hire is trying to get trust into the platform, but what about them trying to verify the resources or the human personnel that they are hiring? That given that, let's say, this is blue collar or gray collar jobs, where they come from, are they actual, let's say, I would just take the Indian example, but say Indian citizen or not, do they have a criminal record or not, do they stay for like 6 months, 8 months, 10 months enough in the job, or they just like will switch between like 2-3 months or something, because I understand like that the churn is also like fast, right? So how do they verify the people they are trying to
Got
hire?
it. So I think your main concern from what I understood is how to identify if candidate is legitimate or not, right?
Yeah,
So I think for that, I think let me first even chart the candidate flow, so you understand from candidate point of view what verification goes in. Then we can combine this flow. I think that will answer this question in better way.
cool.
But just to give high level clarity to everyone, when you say verification, there are two kinds of verification. फर्स्ट इज कि अगर कोई पुलिस का जॉब को अप्लाई कर रहे हैं फॉर एग्जांपल, देन देयर शुड बी वेरिफिकेशन कि उसका क्रिमिनल रिकॉर्ड्स नहीं होना चाहिए एंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स होने चाहिए, नहीं होने चाहिए. सो देर आर फ्यू थिंग्स विच कैन बी वेरीफाइड वन टाइम एंड फ्यू थिंग्स इज देयर जहाँ पे पीरियोडिकली रिव्यू लगेगा. So periodically review करना is one of the problem currently in the system as well because we don't have the live data. But one-time verification is done at the candidate level. So what we can do is first I will just explain the complete flow of candidate side as well and how everything is linked. Then we can look at the problems as well. Because as you rightly pointed out, verification of the live data is a big pain point here. Because if you look at the complete flow as well, तो जॉब बोर्ड्स में once someone posts a job and calls, then everything is happening outside the platform. Then no one is staying inside the platform. So we also don't have idea कि इसके बाद कितने लोग हायर हो रहे हैं कितने लोग नहीं हो रहे हैं, बिकॉज वो कॉल करके खुद ही क्लोज कर देंगे ओपनिंग एंड हमें पता ही नहीं चलेगा. So that is why if you look at the core metric which this job applications or job platforms have is I would just write core metrics here for now, for the time being. So core metric which this people or Work India or Apna has is number of right people I gave for job opening. This is the core metric, and secondary metric is number of jobs closed. But here we cannot identify number of jobs closed because most of the things is happening outside the app. For example, अगर मैंने कुछ poster job किया, in most of the times candidates will reach out to that person directly over calls or WhatsApp, which is outside our platform. So we cannot track number of jobs closed. So only thing which these applications are doing as of now is वो surveys लेते हैं या कॉलिंग टीम होती है, वो कॉलिंग टीम बेसिकली बोलती है कि आपने जो ओपनिंग है वो क्लोज की या नहीं की. So all the things which I'm getting is the job opening closed or not is based on the manual verification or based on surveys which are running in the application. So we might not get accurate thing on how many jobs are closed. That is why the core metric which this people target is number of right people I am giving to the people to the certain job opening. For example, a watchman का job opening है, within 7 days how many job openings I can give, how many right candidates I can give who match the desired criteria. So that is the core thing which they track. Any questions at this point? Because I think the flow could be complex for people who are looking for first time. I will just give you high level summary in 1-2 minutes. So अगर किसी को job को apply करना है, they first get in touch with people whom they know. अगर रेफरल से मिला तो वेल एंड गुड, रेफरल से नहीं मिला देन दे सर्च. देन सर्च में जो भी रिजल्ट पहले आता है, देन बेस्ड ऑन दैट दे गेट अवेयर ऑफ द प्लेटफॉर्म. वंस दे आर अवेयर ऑफ द प्लेटफॉर्म दे साइन अप. देन साइन अप का लैंडिंग पेज इज डिजाइंड इन दैट वे कि दे हैव ट्रस्ट कि आई कैन फाइंड राइट पीपल in less amount of time if I give some amount of money. Then as soon as they have confidence, then they raise an inquiry. In inquiry, there is a job form. Job form में they give all the details of the company and why they are hiring and all those things. And based on the job form, if all the documents are there, then auto verify हो जाता है. But in shops like किराना shops जो official या जिनके पास legal documents नहीं है, then manual verification होता है जहाँ पे they ask for photos and all those things. And then जैसे verification complete होता है, they do the payment. एंड जैसे ही पेमेंट करते हैं दे गेट एक्सेस टू 3 थिंग्स: जॉब बोर्ड्स, डेटाबेस एंड सपोर्ट. आइडियल प्रेफरेंस फॉर एनी पर्सन हु इज हायरिंग समवन इज कि जैसे मैं जॉब पोस्ट पे जॉब डालूँ, पीपल विल कॉल मी डायरेक्टली एंड मैं उनसे बात करके डायरेक्टली ओपनिंग क्लोज कर दूँ. सो दैट इज़ अ हाई लेवल एक्सपेक्टेशन फ्रॉम आई वुड से पर्सन हु इज हायरिंग. सो आई विल जस्ट गिव यू हाई लेवल फ्लो. इसके बाद क्या होता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ से मुझे मल्टीपल कॉल्स आना चालू हो गए कि जैसे ही मैंने जॉब ओपनिंग डाला 10 पीपल कॉल्ड मी. सो नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज व्हाट दिस पीपल डू इज देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज अ ट्रायल पीरियड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई लाइक्ड सम कैंडिडेट. कैसे लिखूँ इसको, अगर मुझे लिखना है दिस पीपल वुड शॉर्ट लिस्ट फ्यू कैंडिडेट कि मतलब मुझे 5 या 10 कॉल आए, मुझे 10 लोग कॉल पे अच्छे लगे या व्हाट्सएप मैसेज पे अच्छे लगे. सो मैं डायरेक्टली उनको ट्रायल फेज पे बुला लेता हूँ कि मतलब अगर मुझे थोड़ा भी जेन्युइन लगे वो लोग, तो आई कॉल देम टू ट्रायल पीरियड. अब ये ट्रायल पीरियड क्या होता है, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ़ आई एम अ कुक एंड मैंने कुक के लिए जॉब के लिए अप्लाई किया है, अगर मैं मुझे कोई बंदा अच्छा लगा तो मैं बोल दूंगा कि ओके आप मेरे घर पे आओ, 1-2 दिन आके खाना बना के दिखाओ, मैं उसको 1-2 डेज़ का पे करूँगा आपको, एंड इफ़ एवरीथिंग लुक्स गुड then maybe you can take the job. In terms of watchman it could be like कि 1 वीक का ड्यूटी करो, 1 वीक का हम पे कर देंगे, अगर वो ट्रायल पीरियड सक्सेसफुल हुआ देन हम आपको हायर कर लेंगे. सो दिस ट्रायल पीरियड इज़ नॉट हैपनिंग फ्रॉम अपना और वर्क इंडिया पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, एवरीथिंग इज हैपनिंग फ्रॉम पर्सन इज हायरिंग. सो अपना और वर्क इंडिया डोंट टेक केयर ऑफ दिस ट्रायल्स. एंड जैसे ही ट्रायल में लोगों को कॉन्फिडेंस आता है देन दे हायर देम. एंड यूजुअली 7 to 8 months इज द एट्रीब्यूशन period of these people. Maximum 7 to 8 months में people churn and they require new hire there. So this is the complete, I would say, job side का view कि अगर किसी को hire करना है, this is the way in which people hire candidates. And any platform only gives them this thing कि job board आने के बाद कॉल एंड व्हाट्सएप में तक ही जॉब पोर्टल का काम होता है. उसके बाद all the things like shortlisting, then trial period, then keeping them on job, everything is handled outside the job by the person who is hiring. So core job of any hiring platform in blue and gray collar job is to just give right amount of leads who are matching their job requirement. जैसे वो job requirement दे दिया, then most of the काम उनका खत्म हो जाता है because visibility ही नहीं रहती, because most of the things is happening outside. So that is the high level view. If everything is clear, thumbs up दे देना. अगर नहीं है तो happy to take any questions as well. So does anyone has any questions? Or is anything clear? Just give me thumbs up so that I can go ahead. And अगर कुछ समझा नहीं है, then would be happy to go in detail in particular thing. Because it could be confusing, because it also took me 2 to 3 days to completely comprehend how exactly the complete ecosystem works post offline session. Yeah, Rohit.
So Atharva, I just have one doubt. You mentioned about verification, live verification, right? So what are the data sets that we are referring over here? I mean, in terms of checking the legitimate candidacy.
Are you talking from candidate side or verification of company?
Verification. I mean verification of candidate.
ठीक है, I think candidate flow I will get in there, then we can look at that part कि candidate side से क्या होता है. So I will link everything here. I think that will solve the problem, but apart from, I will move to the candidate side of things कि what exactly happens on the candidate side. So I think B2C का आपको idea मिल गया. I will just go towards candidate perspective. Simran, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to discuss one thing. Am I audible to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's suppose currently I have a housemaid, right? So, in that particular case, so let's suppose we had it from an agency, right? So, it's a medical types of maid, to be honest, right? For the patient, right? So now at this point, like when we are hired from agency, so there is a upfront amount of money that that person is getting, the maid is getting, and some amount is of course the agency that is getting, right?
Yep.
And so in that case, every month some amount of money that is agency is making and some amount the person is making, right? But we don't have to take any kind of tension regarding the person who is at my home, that maybe I'll say trust factor or any other problem. If that person wants to take a leave or anything, everything is being handled by the agency, and agency will provide me the some other person in that particular amount of time, right? So here, when we talk about these apps, I have tried some other apps as well who can provide me some medical nurses or something for my home, but that was not seeming trustable that I'll call some other person from these apps, and all these leaves or talking about trust, it is something that I'll not get from a particular application. So how those kind of applications scale, matlab, that's the thing that comes in my mind, I guess.
So I think I will answer this question in two things, and I will once again verify this with Kavina as well later. So initially I mentioned, right, B2C caters for 60% of use cases. Correct me if I'm wrong, Simran, your use case is कि you need some house help for some medical emergency for maybe senior citizens, right? And you need some
Yeah,
person. For that you are having an agency,
yeah.
that thing. So if I want to split this 60% also of B2C into multiple parts. So if I want to split B2C also in multiple parts, one could be key end users like us, house owners who have a specific requirement, and second is people like, I would say simple words में धंधा करने वाले लोग. So
Companies.
yeah, someone like shopkeepers or maybe जिनको restaurant owners है उनके लिए, या security guards, all those things. So all this धंधा करने वाले people account for 90 to 95% of total thing, and maybe 10% would be end users, because as you rightly mentioned, end users में replacement is the major concern for us. क्योंकि जैसे वहाँ पे हाई चांसेस है पीपल विल टेक लीव्स, एंड लीव लिया तो हमें पूरा काम करना पड़ेगा. So that is why end users mainly rely on, I would say, agencies. But when you think from shopkeeper's perspective, कि उसको सब कॉन्टेक्स्ट नए यूजर्स को देना फॉर ओनली 2 to 3 days, दैट इज नॉट कम्प्लीटली पॉसिबल फॉर देम. सो उनके लिए छुट्टी देना इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन, क्योंकि नए बंदे को फिर से ट्रेन करना पड़ेगा, समझाना पड़ेगा. इफ इट्स अ वॉचमैन देन यूनिफॉर्म देना पड़ेगा उसे फिर से. सो वो समझाना इज अ ह्यूज टास्क फॉर देम. सो इन B2C ऑल्सो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ things, that is why I mentioned ki comes from cooks, workers, watchmen. They account for majority of these things. Hardly 5 to 10% would be coming from end users for the use cases like this. I think hope that solves answers your question, right?
Got it. But for end users as well, as you mentioned कि सब कुछ दोबारा से सिखाना पड़ेगा and everything, I think for medical care, that's also a thing that you need to tell every other person who is coming at your place that this is how you need to do stuff, and I mean that's also a thing.
Yeah, agree. That is why majority of job openings, if you look at it, cooks, workers and watchmen, उनमें ज़्यादा जाता है. I will get some exact data points as well. I don't have exact data points on what is the exact numbers, but from what I had an interaction, majority of things happens जहाँ पे this reliability is less. But post this session, I will try to get these numbers as well. कि
Cool,
exactly
got
what
it.
is the split, because I think your point is also totally valid when it comes to medical emergencies and all those things. All these things are required. So what kind of jobs may people rely on agencies, and what kind of jobs may people come here directly? So that I will try to get and maybe update in the group later, or maybe we can create a document of what we discussed here and we can share it later in the group as well. Anything which is convenient.
Fine, got it. I'll also search about it, I guess now.
Yeah, cool, works.
Thank you.
Any B2C companies? What do you mean by B2C companies? I think that was the previous question. Yeah. Abhi, if you can clarify what exactly you mean by B2C companies, that would be better. Uh, ठीक, I think most of the thing we have covered here from uh, people who are hiring. I will just quickly walk through candidate side first. I was not expecting this to take 1 hour, but ठीक है. I will try to cover this as well. Companies that directly hire, I think, if I'm not wrong, Zepto has collaborated with Work India directly. So even when I say B2B companies have agency layer in between, up पे गया. Where is that? When I say B2B has agency layer in between, but there I think Zepto has directly collaborated with Work India as well. So in most of the cases, companies like Zepto, Zomato, ये सब क्या करते हैं? They list everywhere. जहाँ से भी opening मिलेगा वो ले सकते हैं. So Work India का official partner is Zepto as well. So potentially what Zepto would be doing is they even collaborate with Work India, अपना everyone, and they also collaborate with agencies. क्योंकि उनका requirement is 500,000 delivery workers वैसे. So in most of the cases, they agency plus individual दोनों होगा. And when it comes to restaurants as well, I'm pretty sure restaurants के companies भी होंगे. I don't have complete data on that. But I will try to get those data as well. What are the well-known B2C companies if they have collaborated with? I don't have that data as of now.
Yeah, and also one more thing to add here is these big companies don't want to handle like contracts and all these things for this blue collar workforce. So they tend to prefer agencies, and even I think what Kavina was saying was even when they have tied up with Work India, I think Work India is still doing stuff which is out of the scope for their platform usually for Zepto. Because Zepto does not want to go into interviewing, hiring, onboarding, maintaining data, that sort of thing. So they just offboard this scam to any agency and they will take care of it. That's usually what this big.
Yeah. So I think if you look from hire perspective, agencies लोग hire क्यों करते हैं? Because they take care of complete funnel post calling as well. They will filter, find the right candidate and give directly to Zepto. So for Work India, what they could be doing potentially is, since Zepto is their official client, तो उनका पूरा sourcing का काम Work India कर रही होगी, different team of Work India, and they would be giving clients. So ideally agencies are preferred there. Cool. I will just come to the candidate side now. So I think candidate में भी first flow is similar only. अगर candidate को कुछ job चाहिए, first they try with referrals. कि मुझे रेफरल से काम चल गया तो मुझे डायरेक्टली जॉब मिल जाएगा. सो दैट इज़ द फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस फॉर एनी कैंडिडेट्स. बट अगर मुझे रेफरल से काम नहीं मिला, देन हियर ऑल्सो अवेयरनेस इज द मेजर स्टेप हियर. सो व्हेन आई से अवेयरनेस, मेजरली इट हैपेंस थ्रू टू थिंग्स हियर एज वेल. कि मतलब टेलीग्राम ग्रुप्स या व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में वो पोस्ट करता है आई एम लुकिंग फॉर अ जॉब, और फेसबुक ग्रुप्स है. अगर यहाँ से नहीं मिला तो वो सर्च करता है, देन सर्च से दे विल गेट टू नो अबाउट अ प्लेटफॉर्म. प्लेटफॉर्म कुड बी मतलब एनी हायरिंग प्लेटफॉर्म, अपना वर्क इंडिया, vahan.ai, there could be multiple platforms in the market. So as soon as they come here, just a minute. So as soon as these people come to this Sapna and all these things, then they sign up. तो साइन अप में हम उनका सब डिटेल्स लेते हैं. व्हेन आई से ऑल द डिटेल्स, इसमें देयर एजुकेशन, क्वालिफिकेशन, देन preferred jobs where they want to get jobs in, their previous work experience if any, and all the basic details they take here. And this majorly is onboarding. जैसे वो onboard करते हैं, they can see all the jobs. So technically they get redirected यहाँ पे कि किसी ने भी post a job किया है, then they can see all these jobs and they can directly call them. So if I just want to do, they just do their sign up. They don't take any money from these people. And जैसे वो sign up करते हैं jobs के लिए, then they can see all the jobs जिनका उन्होंने preference दिया है, and then call me, WhatsApp me directly. They can see this. They can directly call them, WhatsApp them, and then everything is going outside app, where it is always between person who is hiring and these people. So here the main question comes is verification. यहाँ पे verification कहाँ पे हो रहा है? So I think biggest problem here is verification नहीं होता in most of the apps. So as of now, biggest challenge is verification and live data, because there is nothing called as verification. जो भी candidate यहाँ पे देता है, everything is assumed that is true. जो भी previous experience है, it is true. जो भी education है, it is true. And जो भी preferred jobs है, it is true. There is nothing called as skill verification or previous job verification or background checks. And that is why time required to hire is also more, क्योंकि these people change the job so frequently. तो having live data, कहाँ पे काम किया है, कहाँ पे उनका एजुकेशन है, वो सब रखना इज़ ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल. सो दैट इज़ द मेजर प्रॉब्लम हियर, आई वुड से, कि वेरिफिकेशन नहीं होता. जो भी दे मेंशन हियर इन ऑनबोर्डिंग फॉर्म इज अज्यूम टू बी ट्रू. एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम कॉल करने के बाद लोगों को पता चलता है कि यार इसने काम ही नहीं किया है, या इसके पास ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस ही नहीं है ड्राइवर बनने के लिए. सो उसने वहाँ पे डाला होगा क्योंकि उसको जॉब चाहिए, बट कॉल करने के बाद उनको पता चलता है कि ओके वेरिफिकेशन नहीं है इसके पास. सो दिस इज़ हाई लेवल कैंडिडेट फ्लो. कैसे होता है? वी डोंट चार्ज मनी फ्रॉम कैंडिडेट्स. हम लोग बस चार्ज करते हैं ऑन सब्सक्रिप्शन बेसिस टू द पीपल हु आर हायरिंग, एंड बेस्ड ऑन प्लान्स ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर देयर. कि मतलब डेटाबेस एक्सेस मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा, हाउ मेनी जॉब्स दे कैन पोस्ट और हाउ मच सपोर्ट दे रिक्वायर. ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर वेरिएबल बेस्ड ऑन कौन सा प्लान वो लेते हैं. ऑन एन एवरेज 2000 to 5000 का मंथली प्लान दिस पीपल प्रेफर, बिकॉज दे एक्सपेक्ट कि 1 मंथ में हायरिंग क्लोज हो जाए. सो दिस इज़ हाई लेवल इकोसिस्टम की कंप्लीट इकोसिस्टम ऑफ ब्लू कॉलर जॉब्स कैसा है. Before I come to problems at each stage, I just want to ensure that all the things are clear कि how complete end-to-end system works. कुछ भी questions है और anything detail में if anyone wants to know, maybe we can have a discussion on that, because I also might not have context on anything apart from this. But obviously we can note down these questions and I will ask these questions later and I can get the answers for those. Yeah, there can be companies which want. Yeah, Simran.
So as we were talking about, यहाँ पे proof of work is something that is the biggest problem, right? So the example that I've given you earlier, तो मुझे भी यही था कि the proof of work. Recently, a maid come in my home and she be like, I have experience dealing diabetic patients, but when we tried her, we came to know, oh, okay, she doesn't have any prior experience, right? While in these apps as well, here it is the main problem that proof of work is something. So I don't know कहाँ पे उस particular maid ने पहले home care कर रखा or anything, and what kind of patient she have dealt with. But at the same time, how she can show in these particular app, वो भी एक प्रॉब्लम है कि वो अपना रिज्यूमे कैसे दिखाए, एंड एज वेल एज फॉर अस हु आर हायरिंग, उनके लिए भी प्रॉब्लम है कि वो वेरीफाई कैसे करे. एंड एट द सेम टाइम इस सबसे हम एक यूजर एक्सपीरियंस भी तो खराब कर रहे हैं ना फॉर द पर्सन हु इज हायरिंग, कि वो ट्रायल पे उसको समझ में आ रहा है कि जिस पर्सन ने उसको कांटेक्ट किया वो परफेक्ट फिट है ही नहीं, राइट? सो दैट इज द थिंग आई एम कंसर्न्ड अबाउट, कैसे बेटर कर सकते हैं.
Agree. But here question is, what is the incentive for people to upload work experience? Because they will come to the platform only when they require a job desperately. नहीं तो वो रेफरल्स के पास ही जाते हैं. So how to get live
हाँ.
data frequently, and they might be switching jobs every 1 month, 2 month as well. So how to get live data and verify it? I think that was one of the moonshot idea which we discussed in one of our offline event. One of the team suggested a moonshot idea जहाँ पे जैसे आधार कार्ड और वैसे वर्क पास होता है, वैसे हम कुछ वर्क पास बनाएंगे जहाँ पे सब हिस्ट्री स्टोर होगी, विच वुड हेल्प. बट अगेन द प्रॉब्लम देयर केम कि मतलब हम लोग को डेटा मिलेगा कहाँ से? दिस पीपल आर नॉट tech literate. They change their jobs every 1-2 months as well. Specifically if it is household job जैसे आपका है. So if they are switching so frequently, how to maintain live data? That is why verification करना मुश्किल है. One time verification करना भी मुश्किल है because these people might not have documents required. So that is the major concern here. So only thing which I think these people rely on is कि मतलब मेरे प्लेटफॉर्म से इतने लोग हायर हुए, so it is trustable. They show success stories and all those things. But verification is a bigger problem here. How to solve that? That is a bigger question. If you can
Exactly.
solve this problem, you can easily get job in any of these companies, I guess, because they are also trying to figure this out.
And I think one more thing here, which we discussed during our offline event as well, is to do that, it will require to change the mindset of both the users and the companies hiring. Because users को भी आदत नहीं है मेंटेन करने का, they don't have incentive as we discussed, and companies जो majority segment है 60% small businesses, उनको भी आदत नहीं है, they all like doing it over WhatsApp or like doing it over call. So even if we have some sort of verification, हमको business side को भी convince करना पड़ेगा कि ये use करो या trust our leads more वैसा.
Yeah, there is high chance of drop-offs at both the places if we do this.
Yeah.
Because they are not only hiring from our platform, they are hiring offline through referrals as well. Why would they update that thing here? So that is a bigger problem. दोनों side में problem है. We need to change the mindset, and changing mindset is difficult. I hope that answers your question, right, Simran?
But still, at the end of the day, that is the problem itself, right?
Yeah,
That is
if you can
still
ideate some
to be
solutions
what.
and pitch it to companies, I am pretty sure people would be willing to hear to us. Like we have this unique solution you can implement. Definitely scope of improvement to have.
Got it.
I think most of the companies are, I think I will come to the problems which companies are planning to work on later. First, I will just take all the questions. Yeah, Saket, do you have any question?
Yeah, hi, Taro. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was earlier unable to unmute. So I want to know, after trial, how does platform like Apna knows whether the worker is hired or not?
So that is second problem. I think I have noted down these problems which I have not mentioned here. So currently only way these platforms are knowing कि job opening close हुआ है नहीं हुआ है is through surveys. They take surveys in app saying that you were hiring for this position. Is this opening closed? That is one way they do. And second thing is they have something called as intelligence team, call intelligence team. उनका बस काम है कि सबको कॉल करके पूछो what is the status. So there is, since there is no in-app activity, we cannot know if the opening is closed or not. So even in the current app metric, you can say that only 35% or 40% of job requirements are closed. But actual number 70 भी हो सकता है. We are not having any idea because everything is happening outside the app. So that is the second major problem which we can solve, would be better for them. That is, how can we increase visibility post giving them the data? Because everything is happening outside the app. So that is another problem. Currently, it is only through surveys or calling team is getting in touch with them to understand if the job opening is closed or not. So even if any app is saying that only 30% openings are closed, that number could be 70% as well because people are not updating in the app.
Got it. So currently, then for this purpose, which metric are you guys means Apna is trying to track?
I think two things is there. What metric they can track accurately and what is the metric जहाँ पे उनको rough idea मिलेगा. So that is why the core metric which they track, which can be tracked accurately, is how many number of right people I am giving who match the job opening. But again, this metric is also not 100% reliable क्योंकि right people is based on the requirement which people give in the onboarding form. They are taking that as a single source of truth. तो अगर कोई कैंडिडेट ने ऑनबोर्डिंग फॉर्म में गलत डाल दिया कि आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस इन ड्राइविंग, देन ऑल्सो दैट इज फ्लॉड. सो इन अ वे यू कैन सी कि 100% एक्यूरेट कुछ भी डेटा नहीं है, एंड दैट इज द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज कि मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स ऑप से हो रही है इन द कंप्लीट ब्लू कॉलर इकोसिस्टम अनलाइक वाइट कॉलर इकोसिस्टम. So complete thing is data is not reliable is the major problem because all the things are taken inputs from users. एंड जॉब्स का तो हम ट्रैक कर ही नहीं सकते क्योंकि आउटसाइड द एप्लीकेशन जो हो रहा है हमें कुछ भी पता नहीं है. सो हियर तो वी कैन से कि 30% एक्यूरेसी है, बट हाउ मच एक्यूरेट इट इज वी कैन नॉट नो. आई होप दैट आंसर्स योर क्वेश्चन कि दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम. इफ यू सॉल्व इट then it could be better. So I will just list down all the problems which you guys also noted because those are only the major problems in this ecosystem, and these are the most of the problems जो people are trying to solve but don't know how to solve it. And that was the discussion of offline event as well. We ideated on this problems only. So if you are planning to attend offline sessions, feel free to come there. वहाँ पे it could be in-depth brainstorming on these problems as well. So I will just note down high level problems यहाँ पे. I think as someone like rightly pointed out, major problem is visibility post giving jobs, post giving leads I would say for better word. कि हम लोग उनको leads देते हैं. This leads can come in two ways. Either people will directly call them or we give them the database. So एक बार हमने वो database दे दिया और if people are calling them once they post the job, we don't have visibility on how many people are getting converted, how they are getting converted, why people are not getting converted. There is no visibility there as of now. I think Naukri is trying to go in that domain where they are trying to solve this problem. उन्होंने they have started new ops team setup as well, जहाँ पे they are taking care of the complete funnel. But in general, visibility is problem क्योंकि everything is ops driven. Second problem, as someone I think Simran rightly pointed out, is verification or data reliability on both the side. कि जो भी डेटा दे रहे हैं लोग ऑनबोर्डिंग फॉर्म में, हाउ मच एक्यूरेट इट इज वी डोंट नो, एंड ऑल द नंबर्स आर बेस्ड ऑन दैट ओनली. सो दिस लीड्स टू डिक्रीज इन ट्रस्ट फैक्टर एज वेल क्योंकि ट्रस्ट आएगा ही नहीं किसी को प्लेटफॉर्म में. इट्स ओनली आउट ऑफ डेस्परेशन कि मतलब मुझे रेफरल से नहीं मिल रहा है, दिस इज द होप कि मुझे यहाँ से मिल जाएगा, एंड दैट इज वाई पीपल आर कमिंग हियर. सो ट्रस्ट इज लैकिंग. सो दैट इज द सेकेंड थिंग, सेकेंड मेजर प्रॉब्लम. थर्ड इज कि अगर हमने वेरीफाई कर भी लिया, then how can we track the live data? Because as I mentioned, on an average attribution is 7 to 8 months. Every 7 to 8 months people are changing jobs, and when it comes to certain profession में 1 to 2 months भी attribution है कि 1-2 months में ही people job change कर देते हैं. So how to keep track of live data जो भी हो रहा है यहाँ पे and update it in the frequent basis, that is the thing. Fourth thing I would say is product education. If you look at most of the constraints क्यों आ रहे हैं हमें, that is because users are not educated to use CRM or all the application, and that is why everything is moving outside the application. So there is no proper education for these people. So I think Pratyush and I were discussing कि product education could solve majority of problems, and many investors might be betting on these companies because they would be expecting कि by 2030 or 2035 literacy rate would by default increase and people would be able to use this application. So जैसे product education आ जाएगा, everything could be done inside application, and long term में maybe हम लोग ये सब चीज़ें problems avoid कर सकते हैं. That could be the only reason we could think of. But these are the 4 major problem, And I would say complete thing is ops driven. Everything is ops driven, and product is an enabler in the complete ecosystem. So these are the 5 major challenges which all the companies are trying to solve. If you look at few companies like Vahan.ai, I think when we studied Vahan.ai, which is competitor, they are trying AI screening as well. कि AI screen करके हम लोग उनको कैंडिडेट दे दे जहाँ पे हमें राइट इंटेंट मिले. लेकिन अगेन हाउ आई वुड से गुड इट इज़ आई डोंट नो, बिकॉज फॉर दिस ऑडियंस ऑल दिस थिंग्स माइट नॉट बी यूजफुल एज वेल, क्योंकि उनको पता ही नहीं है कैसे चीज़ें वर्क होती है. बट फ्यू कंपनीज आर एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग यहाँ पे. सो दिस इज़ हाई लेवल, I would say, overview of ecosystem, and I have not covered B2B part कैसे होता है. I think if you guys have time we can cover it, but I think if you guys think कि time नहीं है, then वो I can give a brief summary in document somewhere. So up to you guys. If you guys have 10-15 minutes of time, I can explain B2B flow as well कि B2B कैसे होता है. But B2C and candidate flow कैसे होता है, and what are the major problems which these people are facing and trying to solve. वो आप आई थिंक आपको आइडिया मिल गया होगा राइट इन दिस. यहाँ पे इफ एनी क्वेश्चंस आर देयर आई वुड लाइक नेक्स्ट 10-15 मिनट्स उसमें हम दे दें, क्योंकि B2B वुड बी अनदर कॉम्प्लेक्स फ्लो, तो वो समझने में और टाइम जाएगा. एंड आई थिंक दिस अलोन इन्फॉर्मेशन कुड बी अ बिट ऑफ ओवरलोड फॉर यू गाइस, क्योंकि अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस इन 45 minutes वुड बी डिफिकल्ट. So I would better take some doubts or anything which you have in mind so that you can get a starting point कि अगर मुझे ये डोमेन में कुछ केस स्टडी करना है, you have enough insights to work on it. कुछ questions है, then we can take those. If no questions are there, maybe we can close this session. Yeah, Simran. By the way, just
So
a disclaimer, I think few people told before कि few people are going to be there for IdeaXchange launchpad session as well, right? वहाँ पे we want collaborative sessions, वहाँ पे we want people to ideate on different statements, because there we won't be giving all this information. In launchpad, we want you guys to research about it and present and brainstorm. So if anyone is thinking to go in launchpad, we would want interactivity more rather than giving information. So just wanted to give heads up for these things as well. Yeah, Simran.
So I was thinking that we were thinking कि incentive or something that will, जैसे let's suppose I want to register on your platform, और अगर आप मेरे through hire हो रहे हो or something like that, तो हम incentive is something that we can target upon to attract the people who want a job or something, ऐसा कुछ, right? I hope you get me what I'm speaking. I think I'm not able to articulate it properly.
I think can you just एक simple example देके समझा सकते हो क्या? That would be good.
Yeah. So we were talking about incentives. Ki let's suppose I got hired from your platform, right? So maybe I'll get some incentive or something, कि I trust your platform, और मैं as a user आपके platform पे आई, and maybe I got hired or something, or maybe I trusted your platform in the first place. ऐसा कुछ, ठीक है? So now let's talk about Uber, Zepto, or anything like that, right? In the same space, वहाँ पे while we are talking about product education, so see the Uber drivers or Rapido drivers, they're not even that much educated, but they're forced to, learn the applications just because they want to be a part of that company, and they are getting that kind of incentives or that much amount of rights to be part of that company, and they're getting the product education just because of that particular thing. So in the same way, for these I guess white collar jobs, maybe this can be a thing that people will eventually try to learn these applications if there is something for them inside them, like.
Okay, I don't have yes no answer to this, but I have one perspective on this. When you look at Ola Uber or when you compare with Ola Uber application, वहाँ पे users don't have any option, क्योंकि नहीं तो उनको राइट्स ही नहीं मिलेगा.
नहीं, मतलब let's suppose मतलब आई वुड जॉइन सम कंपनी और समथिंग, लेट्स सपोज, या फिर रेफरल्स। जैसे ऐसे बहुत सारे, लेट्स सपोज अगर मुझे कल के दिन आउटसाइड कहीं ट्रैवल करना है इंटरसिटी, तो देयर आर सम ड्राइवर्स, मैं और मैं बोल दूंगी कि भैया मुझे जाना है, आप ले जाओगे, तो उसमें भी रेफरल्स वाला थिंग तो चलता ही है ना।
हाँ, but what
लाइक
is
ड्यू
the
गेट।
ratio? I think if anyone is from Mumbai, they could relate. In Mumbai वैसे ही चलता है, मुंबई ओला उबर नहीं है, बिकॉज वहाँ पे ऑटो वालों का चलता है पूरा. So it depends on ecosystem as well. This is what I feel. I don't have clear answer to this, but my perspective on this point could be कि when it comes to product education, if we want to educate users, then all the platforms collectively should make a decision कि हम लोग सबसे करवाएंगे.
हम्म।
अगर
हम्म।
बस मे बी अपना और वर्क इंडिया करेगा, बट देर आर 5-6 कंपटीशन वो नहीं करेंगे, देन दे विल गो देयर. एंड हियर इन
हम्म।
मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस डिमांड इज लेस एंड सप्लाई इज मोर.
हाँ,
इक्वल
एग्जैक्टली।
सप्लाई डिमांड नहीं है. तो यहाँ
हम्म।
पे जैसे ही मुझे पता चला एज अ ओनर, इफ आई एम अ किराना शॉप, कि इसके पास 20 मिलियन का डेटा है, मेरे पास बस 1,000 का है लेकिन वेरीफाइड है, देन दे विल ऑलवेज गो टू 20 मिलियन. सो इफ प्रोडक्ट एजुकेशन ऑल्सो वी नीड टू इनकलकेट, माई पर्सपेक्टिव इज दैट एवरी वन शुड इन्फोर्स. बट अगर वो सब की आदत, पीपल विल मूव टू व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप एंड फेसबुक ग्रुप का डिमांड बढ़ जाएगा, बिकॉज दे हैव ऑप्शंस.
हम्म।
दैट इज व्हाट आई फील, बट हैप्पी टू
हाँ, आई
हियर
गेट
योर
इट, द होल
फीडबैक्स.
इकोसिस्टम नीड्स टू अडॉप्ट दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग, और वो मुश्किल है आई गेस सब मिलाना।
या बिकॉज यहाँ पे.
And
हाँ, या प्रत्युष.
yeah, one more perspective here is in what Ola and Uber did very well is that one side, like the supply side of their thing is blue collar, like they will not have any tech literacy or that point of view, but the demand side has a lot of tech literacy. So they captured, like they have so much of like people who need rides that ड्राइवर्स के पास चॉइस नहीं है, एटलीस्ट इन द मेट्रो सिटीज, कि if they want rides consistently, they will have to get on Uber and they will have to learn Uber. But here, what ends up happening in blue collar job ecosystem, still I think there is a huge unseen market which is going on through referrals. आप कोई भी शॉप में चले जाओ, वो शॉपकीपर पक्का बोलेगा मेरे चाचा का लड़का है, या
या
उसी बेसिस पे हायरिंग हो रहा है. एंड दैट इज आई थिंक, अगर हम परसेंटेजेस में जाएंगे, आई एम श्योर 80-90% हायरिंग वैसे ही हो रहा है. So product education, when me and Athar were discussing, I think it mostly will rise with मतलब इंटरनेट पेनिट्रेशन इंडिया का बढ़ेगा और टेक एजुकेशन बढ़ेगा, तो with time I think that will automatically improve, which is why we think this is a good domain to invest in if you're an investor.
या बट दैट इज टेकिंग अ बेट कि
Yeah.
नेक्स्ट 5 to 10 years लिटरेसी ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा.
हाँ, बट हम लोग एक वो भी चीज डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि ये मार्केट में डिसरप्शन का भी बहुत पोटेंशियल है, तो इफ एनीबॉडी वांट्स टू डू अ स्टार्टअप, दिस इज अ गुड डोमेन.
या वी वर थिंकिंग ऑन दोस लाइन्स कि क्या क्या कर सकते हैं.
या
या आई थिंक राम, यू हैव क्वेश्चंस.
Yeah. Hi, there, Ram this side. So my perspective is, so when we were hiring for this FMCG distribution sector, no, so I was handling one of the biggest FMCG in Bangalore. So finding this blue collar job, guys, we were finding very different approach. Like we were approaching through this Apna, but it didn't help us. We tried through multiple subscription, but we couldn't find it. But eventually from Bangalore, I got a person, and they were ready to give a guarantee to a person for 3 months. So if that person leaves the job, again in a free of cost, that guy was ready to replace with a new person.
What kind
Uh,
of roles you are hiring for?
so we were hiring for this door-to-door salesperson, not door-to-door, a shop-to-shop, the person sales representative guy, a distributor salesman, we call it. So we were hiring for distributor sales guys. So as you told, the white collar, gray collar, and blue collar, usually how we differentiate is like skilled job, semi-skilled, and less skilled job.
Yeah.
Like we were focusing on less skilled job people get. So this apna or anything was really not working for us, because this apna or anything, it is for like of course it is for blue collar and a gray collar job guys, but again they were an entry level or a very fresher guy who wants to come to market. One, they get little of experience on certain thing, say for example if they get some experience on this FMCG distribution, order booking or something, eventually they grow to other distribution, other brands, they keep on jumbling between these brands and distributions only. So again, the interval of using the same application, enrolling themselves to this application is the challenge.
Okay. From what I understood, they switch between companies. First of all, the demand for what exactly you want is less, and they switch between companies. These are the core problems, right? Which you
Correct,
identified in
correct.
Apna.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll just note it down. So, first point you mentioned was you wanted some semi-skilled workers, from what I understand, where domain knowledge is required.
Uh-huh.
So, for semi-skilled, I would
Not
say
exactly semi-skilled. Let it be as a less skilled
domain
or
knowledge.
yeah.
Less skills, demand was less, first of all, and they kept switching between the company.
Correct, correct.
So as soon as basically poaching was happening for this, other
Uh-huh.
companies were.
Yeah, when they go find them in the market, they eventually keep juggling between the job.
Yeah, and for them also 2 to 3,000 increment is also more because average is between
Correct,
two to
correct,
three
correct.
thousand rupees salary. Got it. I just want just curious, how does this agencies ensure that they won't leave for 3 months? How do they do
No,
this?
they just give the guarantee for a manpower. Say that he won't leave for next 3 months. Maybe some small incentive is what they are giving from their end. Maybe.
Got it.
But eventually, even if he leaves in 1 or 2 months, these guys were ready to replace with the new guys. You can take a number of interviews and selection process you want,
Okay.
but once you confirm the employee, you need to pay an X amount for that employee.
Okay, and Apna and all this platform did not provide replacement.
No, they were not ready to replace a person, but they were helping us to shortlist the profile. But helping us shortlist the profile does not work, right? We wanted to find the right guy.
But I think it
Big,
depends on plan as well, right? Which plan you take, or you
yeah,
can
there
take
were
it.
multiple plans. Correct, correct. But again, I don't think much of support. It's like a year back
Okay.
when I
Yeah,
was
I
finding.
think Apna and this Work India don't go into post lead giving thing, right?
Correct, correct,
And
correct.
this will go into like, I think what Ram is saying is more towards agencies and that
Agencies,
sort
yeah.
of thing, what we were discussing. This might be more relevant to the B2B
Yeah.
thing, which
I
we did
think
not get
here,
a chance to discuss.
yeah,
But
I think here all these things come into play because if it is a B2B agency, for
hmm.
example, you might have reached to agency from what I understand, and then
Correct,
they would be also sourcing data from somewhere, but they are providing additional perks to you guys.
correct, correct.
So I have
And
not
these
heard of
guys,
B2B.
I don't think these guys have a website or something where they can enroll themselves or what. But what they do is ideally, they will bring all the people who have completed the 12th standard or 10th standard, maybe a 10th, 12th graduate guys,
Yeah.
not a graduate, like the schooling for whom they have done. They'll commit that they will find a job for them. Please apply for this role or something, and they will invite a pool of guys there to one place,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
a community hall or something.
one interesting thing which we got from when we were talking with Kavina was these B2B guys are a very good customer base for them.
Yeah.
So they are not in any hurry to replace them. So, I mean, I think eventually they will, but right now, like they are very good users of their platform because their retention rate is extremely high because they are very desperate for these leads, and then they will do rest of the work and they'll get in contact with companies like JPMC or Zepto,
Yeah.
whatever.
I
So
think, yeah. I think we
yeah.
should cover this in detail, but we don't have time. I will just give you summary of B2B में क्या होता है. So in the end, as you mentioned, B2B में, if you look at the complete funnel in B2C, post is हमारे पास कुछ funnel ही नहीं है आगे. Everything is random and higher हो रहा है. When it comes to B2B, there is agency in between. सो एजेंसी पूरा फनल भी मेंटेन करती है कि ओके अपना ने या वर्क इंडिया ने मुझे ये सब लोग दिए, ये लोग का उनका अलग से फनल होगा उनके पास, वेयर दे लुक इन टू कम्प्लीट हैव HR डिपार्टमेंट, वो उनका इंटरव्यू लेके शॉर्टलिस्ट करेंगे, देन दे हैव इवन ट्रैक ऑफ हाउ मेनी पीपल गॉट हायर्ड. सो वन बेनिफिट फॉर ऑल दिस कंपनीज एग्रीगेटर्स इज दैट B2B से उनको एक्यूरेट डेटा भी मिलता है कि मैंने ये कंपनी को इतना डेटा दिया. देन अपना वर्क इंडिया डोंट डू दिस बट अपना डज दिस कि अपना उनको पूरा फनल भी मिलता है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस B2B एजेंट, बिकॉज उनके पास हाई लेवल पूरा एंड टू एंड एक्सेल शीट में होता है. सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू डेटा एक्यूरेसी ऑल्सो B2B में इंक्रीज होता है. एंड सेकेंड थिंग वाई पीपल प्रेफर B2B इज कि इन B2C रिक्वायरमेंट्स आर लाइक 5 पीपल हायर करना है, 6 पीपल हायर करना है, एंड फॉर दैट दे टेक 2,000 to 5,000 का प्लान. So in most of the cases, unit economics is not working well for them. बट इफ एनी B2B क्लाइंट ऑनबोर्ड्स देन उनका रिक्वायरमेंट 100 to 500 का होता है. सो एज सुन एज द ऑनबोर्ड मोर परसेंटेज ऑफ B2B क्लाइंट्स देन उनका यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स भी इम्प्रूव होता है. So that is why people prefer B2B companies as of now. I wanted to go in detail of B2B as well, but I think we don't have enough time. But B2B is in general a separate segment altogether, जहाँ पे people come not for posting job, people only come for database. So they might not post a job or support a job, they will only take database, and with that database they will have their own process to create their own funnels. बट अगर वो हमने डिटेल में कवर किया तो आई थिंक इट कुड बी टू मच ऑफ ओवरलोड फॉर यू गाइस, बट आई थिंक जस्ट मिल गया होगा राइट ऑफ हाउ इट वर्क्स B2B पार्ट. और इफ एनीवन हैज एनी स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस वी कैन टेक इट. आई थिंक शिवम यू हैव क्वेश्चंस.
Yeah, I have two or three points. The first one is you mentioned that B2B is a good business for Work India and all these lead platforms, but I also think it's a very, very double-edged sword
Yeah.
because although they have highest retention and everything and highest usage, you are essentially giving them, with each request, you're giving them your database. And dheere dheere, you can only generate so many new people, right? That means you're giving them your database. Eventually, they might start replacing you.
Yeah.
So that's one point where I think B2B is a little risky. Like over dependence could be very, very risky.
Yeah.
Other than that, another reason why I feel that adoption for Work India or all of these online platforms will be difficult is because all of your incumbents, like Pratyush mentioned, they mostly operate offline and they are majority of the users.
Sorry, I could not get it. What did you say?
Yeah. You are incumbents, right? The whole offline market with agencies and essentially Thekedar, right? All of those guys, they are the majority of the market. So any people under them, they will not want those workers to leave. They will prevent adoption of Work India and they'll essentially say कि भाई Work India पे मत जाओ. They'll spread false कि वहाँ fraud हो जाता है. For whatever reason, right? They'll basically incentivize their people to stay with them. That's one thing I feel Work India and Apna will have a very huge challenge. Um, However, there's also a positive side to this is going forward with the formalization of all of these segments, right? As blue collar becomes more and more formal, I think a solution where you offer not only leads, but also the legal process, right? When you make the legal process a lot more smoother, that integrated solution might work better. Yeah. So that's, those are the 3 points of what I think of.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think someone was mentioning in our offline discussion also that government is also bringing some contracts and rules. So if that happens, then I think this whole process will be expedited a lot more.
Because if you think of it from the workers' point of view, they just want ki bhai, like what is this piece of paper, like, and even if I am like dealing with it, right? If I am hiring somebody, I don't want to get into the legal troubles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good if somebody can just take care of it for me. That's it.
Totally agree on this. I think a lot depends on how market evolves in next 5 to 10 years, how the behavior of users evolve, and what laws comes in. Based on that, it could completely define how these problems could be solved. But
Also,
yeah, I think
also
that's
one more.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
One more thing that comes to my mind is as a competition to Apna, they are not direct competitors, but I would say all of your, like this is a very random thought, but essentially data farming companies, right, which pay users to label certain text. Like you have a string of a phrase in Hindi and they ask users to speak it out and then use that voice to train their models further or have some sort of labeling that people are doing manually, right? So those sort of jobs are something I'm not sure how much they pay, but they might be competition to these blue collar works.
Yeah, but I
So
think
that's something I think is not
there
covered
could
a
be
lot.
another perspective as well. Ki with the help of AI, white collar jobs are easily replaceable first. So white collar jobs would be also less in future. So demand for gray collar, blue collar might increase. Who knows? There could be a thing कि physical labor पे भी आ सकते हैं लोग. So no one knows with the current market situation क्या होगा. There could be multiple new blue white collar jobs exist in the market in next 5 years, 10 years, based on AI कितना evolve होता है and how nature of job changes. So I think this is the most dynamic market no one knows what would be the potential jobs which might come in. And totally agree with your point, what you said. That could be another possibility, Shivam.